Good afternoon. It's Friday the 14th of January 2013. Here's all the news it's worth talking about in Panama today. There was a fire today at the Hotel Playablanca in Rio Hato, Cocle. The fire was reported at about 10:10 this morning, and it was in a storage area removed from the hotel and removed from the housing area where they had liquor stored and electronics and those kinds of things. There's The news reporters can't get in because it's a private area, so they're basically taking pictures of the fire trucks and the smoke plume from the other side of the sandbank. Um, so they've evacuated everybody. Hopefully there's not going to be any big destruction there or anybody hurt. Just put out the fire and continue on. In the Panama America, 86 police officers were fired during 2012. This is the first time that the national police has come out and given some feedback as to what they do internal to their organization with regards to discipline. They say there's another 27 officers that are currently under a phase of reconsideration. In other words, they've already been decided that they're going to fire them, but they haven't fired them yet, so they're being reconsidered. There was a total of 466 files that were opened during the year, and so call it about 25% of those or so resulted in somebody getting fired. I think this is a good trend towards more transparency and visibility of what's being done internal to the police department with regards to discipline and getting rid of bad cops. I mean, it's a very, very large organization. They've got thousands of employees, and these are guys with guns and power over people, so it's good to see that they're talking about that. Okay, along the same kinds of lines, President Martinelli put out a tweet today saying that homicides have been reduced by 27% in Panama, covering the last 4 years from 2009. Actually, last three, comparing 2012 to 2009. So they took over in the middle of 2009. So what they're saying is they inherited a crime wave, and they've been working over the last many years, several years, to reduce that, and homicides have been reduced by 27%. So that's good. There's another a fire that occurred in Santa Ana. 3 firemen were injured putting out this fire. This was in the calle 16th Street in Santa Ana, apartment number 10 of the Edificio Juventus. One of these old wooden buildings, and to be honest with you, it probably should have been condemned and torn down a long time ago. So anyway, fire in Santa Ana. Now, from Telemetro, there's been this increase lately in the number of cloning of cards, credit cards and the clave cards. It's been an increasing problem. There were like 360 reports of these kinds of crimes just in the last month or so. So keep track of your credit card. If you're in a restaurant, don't just give your card to the guy and say, yeah, go take it in the back. Because one of the things they do is they'll take the credit card into the back of the restaurant, and that's where they've got the cloning thing. For example, make sure that you cover your PIN, because if you're plugging a PIN into an ATM machine, it's worthless without the PIN. So just keep track of your cards and try to only use it in machines or in places where you know that you can keep track of your activity and you can keep track of your card. So anyway, just be aware it's a crime problem that's growing a lot in Panama recently. Over to TVN, they handed over checks this is in El Llano and Chepo. This is an area that was affected by flooding 2 years ago, 7 December 2010, and they're handing out 200 checks. The total number of money is $440,000, so the average check is $2,200, and these are to help the families that were affected by flooding or that lost cattle or livestock or whatever. And the checks were being handed out by the Ministry of Agricultural Development. So it's most of it's going to be to farmers. But anyway, after waiting for 2 years, they got their checks. The Metro bus drivers are demanding more money They were threatening to go on a strike last night. They're asking for their salaries to be increased to $800. They're still going through a negotiation process with the company, which is called Mi Bus. Last night at about 9 o'clock, they were making noises and saying they were going to go on strike as of midnight. And the company turned around to the justice system and asked the strike to be declared as illegal. And the drivers are smart enough to know that if they actually do go on strike and if they don't drive the buses and the strike is declared illegal, then they will just be fired. So they called off their strike. But anyway, the bus drivers are still asking for more money. And there's, an ongoing process between the drivers and the company. And they're trying to get more money out of the system. Okay. Over to the Mi Diario. A woman threw herself off of out of the third story of a building in Caledonia. This is sad. I mean, somebody's going to try to commit suicide from the third floor. She survived. They went and scooped her up in an ambulance, and hopefully she's getting some help. All right, here is the Dia Dia. There's an ongoing problem in Panama City with the collection of garbage. They're continuing to try to work against this issue, but there's the story here in the newspaper is the battle against garbage, and then there's this picture of just a little area where everybody throws their crap, and it's just piles and mountains of garbage. The Panama City was not doing a good enough job to pick up the garbage, so the central government created a new authority and then took it over. Well, the same problem is occurring in San Miguelito, and this story is about San Miguelito, which is actually a different city than Panama City. They have their own mayor, for example. So anyway, garbage is a continuing problem. That's it. Hey, 7 minutes, I'm done. The Financial Pacific thing is still making headlines, and it's going to be growing more. I expect before too long we'll hear about an official investigation that's being conducted in British Columbia. All right. Thank you very much for watching. That's it. I'm done. Today is Friday, the 4th of January, 2013. I'm out of here. Have a great day. Bye.